Yeah, no, he had a bit of a rough weekend here in November, so good for him to bounce back.
And of course, it was a 1-2 for Team Barry, because you notice that Jack Smith and Lance Hughes, Lance just calls everyone Barry, so there's a lot of Barrys in that Hughes thing as they fan out, rolling start, 4 wide down the straight, turn it up, boys. It's only the second race of the weekend. Haven't even got to the first corner. Keen and eager, red mist on display in the BNT V8s.
And look at that, Lance just slotted into second place there behind Jack with Nick. Scott Taylor there.
Scott Taylor, sorry, yep. Just whipping straight across the track there. Luckily no damage to the Camrys, because the boys at Richards Motorsport, they want to have a good clean run, don't they?
Yeah, well, that's right. So
remember, the chicane is back in for the V8s to accommodate avoiding having to lengthen the drive shafts and to save money. So the rest of the field are racing on the old circuit, and the BNT V8s once again racing with the chicane and the kink back in along the back straight.
Yeah, and you know, that's where we saw a lot of action yesterday and a lot of passing manoeuvres. So yeah, that rear section there does provide a couple of opportunities to pass and maybe capitalise on someone else's error.
And I also thought a lot of them actually forgot their braking points.
yeah, there was a lot of...
or I don't know, they seem to be missing their braking going in there.
Well, I think, you know, just at times there's so much going on, it's easy to, you know, get distracted by whatever everyone else is doing. So. And
we had one incident there with about 3 or 4 cars all facing the wrong way after they all got... One of them got tagged, and it sort of set off a dominoes ricochet effect.
Yeah, and so we've got Jack still out in the lead, followed by Lance Hughes.
And Nick Ross. Now they're coming into the braking zone. Brenton Grove, and good that Rob Wallace was absolutely wrapped in the car 51, the Greg Murphy Super Tourer car, to get on the podium yesterday.
Yeah, Rob was absolutely thrilled, you know, and he's still getting grips with that car, but yesterday was just, you know, good speed, but he managed to stay out of trouble.
Apparently DT was telling me it's been to Stephen Giles has sorted it out, so may have got a bit of the old inside word from Owen Evans and the boys, how they'd set up Simon Evans' car.
Yeah, and that's right, and you know, Stephen Giles, led Simon Evans to all those championships, engineering that car and making an absolute rocket, so inputted some of that sort of technical setup into the car.
And that can give a driver a lot of confidence,
it does.
Because he's also still waiting on getting some race driving coaching from Greg Murphy.
Yeah, well, that's right, Murph. Oh, Brad Lathrope's, he's gone off there, and the ITM Falcon.
You never know with Brad D and the Dale ITM Falcon. He's always having a bit of fun, and there's always some little issue somewhere on that track, but he's always keen and eager and never stops trying.
Yeah, no, saw him briefly this morning, and he was pretty happy with yesterday. You know, he had a good clean race, and you know, no damage, and finished well.
So the BNT V8, 16 laps, just sorting themselves out, getting nice, cool and calm. Good track conditions this morning. Blair McDonald, one of the invitation drivers. Tony Anderson, he was in great form in the GT3, GT2 championship, I think GT2 today. And that number 3 AV8 Motorsport car, so good that the invite cars join the field. That's what they term as Class 3.
Yeah, and we are missing Nigel Carl in this race, because he had that earlier accident this morning in the GT event.
How was he?
I haven't seen him or spoken to him, but he was, you know, I think certainly the car, or Stella 2.0, was more damaged than Nigel was.
Good to see the Class 2 battle continuing between Matt Pajetsky out of Inglewood, Taranaki in 77. Had a bad day yesterday, but looks like he's back on track today doing 111s, and that meant Justin Ashwell out of Canterbury in the number 11 Digger car was able to get some valuable points in Class 2. Eric Hennerhoff just behind them, one of the guest cars as well. So these guys, they love their motorsport. Justin Ashwell, number 11, aka Tony. That's a little in-house joke between us and the team. So good characters too. It's a hard case that Jack Smith and Lance Hughes, you'll see on there. I said you should actually put Barry on one of the cars, because of all the team uniforms, they've got Barry on them. So every bloke is Barry.
So it looks like Jack's got that car really working well today. You know, I spoke to him last night, and he said he was just sort of struggling for a wee bit of sort of top end speed. And like, you know, any race driver, you know, he's never quite totally happy with the car. It can always be better. So I think they've given that bit of a tickle up overnight, and because certainly yesterday he was sort of struggling to keep up with the Nissan Altima there of Nick Ross on the straights, but
Nick seems to be struggling a bit today. He was happy last night, but then they had an issue, didn't they?
Yeah, look, I spoke to him sort of very briefly after the race, after his contact with Jack, and maybe it just wasn't quite his usual happy self, so I sort of left him to it. So I think he was a wee bit annoyed that he sort of got taken out, but hey, that's racing, as I say, isn't it?
62, Chelsea Herbert back in the Camry today, and she's right behind Matt Tubbs after that incident on the first opening lap yesterday. So it's going to be interesting to see how Chelsea can be aggressive and get back and make a passing move over Matt Tubbs, he's benefited from that driver training from Tom Alexander, because he looks a lot smoother and quicker in that 42 jump flex car, and so does Rob Wallace too. So a lot of the guys making this, and one of the benefits of this year in the BNT V8s, yes, class 2 is small, but when you look, class 1 is coming back with more drivers making the step up and picking up the modern technology and the latest cars like the X-Super Tourers or the TLX's cars. So getting them out of the sheds and making that step up and that pathway into the faster cars, so they're all in that fast learning lane, fast learning curve.
That's right, yeah, and look, lots of inquiry at the moment from drivers in other categories, looking to take that next step in their career, come out of another class, maybe a slightly slower car, into something a wee bit more faster.
So Jack Smith, he is fast at the moment. Beautiful looking Super Cheat Commodore, number 85. He's done a 105.8 as the fastest lap time so far. Sitting on the 106s at the moment, so 6 laps down, and he's got a nice handy 2.3 second lead over the boss, number 86,
and look
Lance
at
Hughes.
Look at that. He is the only driver in the 105s. He's 4/10ths quicker than Nick Ross, who's sitting in third.
So Nick Ross is third, doing a 106.2. It's quickest lap is that. Number 10, Brenton Grove, has got that Camry back up to full power. Not quite as quick as yesterday. Hasn't got that good start he had yesterday, but a 106.3. Tony Anderson, a 106.2. Tubbs, 107. Herbert, a 107. So they're very much around that same sort of zone, along with Scott Taylor and Rob Wallace as well. So here we go.
I'm just wondering if maybe the track conditions are slightly different this morning from what they were, yesterday. We raced quite late yesterday, so maybe the track was, a little bit cooler.
It'll be cooler today. It'll be quick today. There'll be a little bit of Tubbs and Herbert getting very, very close coming out of that chicane. And now Tubbs is just backing this bunch up here. So there's another battle group developing. Oh, Cummins, Spinner and Brad Lathrope all by himself. He's just giving it the big whirl.
Oh, what were we saying before about Brad? We were pumping up his tyres a bit.
Well, he never fails to impress. He gets the Dale ITM, the big Falcon, on TV all the time. Perhaps sometimes not for the right reasons. But hey, he loves his motorsport and he's a dead set trier. He always sees the red line, just like one of the sponsors. So here's one of the battle packs further back down the field. So this is P6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. And it's still Matt Tubbs, who's doing a good job. He's driving a lot smoother and faster and more consistent this year than his rookie year last year. He learned a lot. Look at Chelsea really letting it loose under brakes through that chicane, try to close up the gap, and now she's got the drive going into the hairpin. Tubbs takes the inside line. Herbert round the outside. Can she just back off and do the crisscross? No, she can't. Rob Wallace getting a little bit wobbly coming out of the hairpin, but she's got a bit of drive now. Chelsea.
Yeah, look, she's going to make Matt Tubbs aware that she's there, and yeah, she's going very well in this race, because she, 4 races in the season down, and it hasn't been quite sort of the plan for her so far, but going well so far today.
Well, we had a great moment of history this morning when Alexandra Whitley became the first female to pick up a win in the NZ V8 Utes, and of course Chelsea enjoyed that moment last season.
That's right.
Becoming the first female to pick up a win in the BNT V8, so the girls can do anything, they are doing anything, and they're doing a great job here. Question is, she stepped from Class 2 to Class 1, really jumped the curb there to say, right, I'm just going to shorten this up. There's Scott Taylor, just tries to do the same thing. And now trying to put the pressure on Matt Tubbs. And meanwhile, Rob Wallace and Blair McDonald having a great little wee battle in the two red cars. Rob Wallace in the Murph Mobile and Blair McDonald in one of the Class 3 invitation double dutying with the GTs. Matt Projeski's got Class 2 dominating as well over Justin Ashwell, so that's good for Matt.
Yeah. So if we look at the times there, so Matt's best lap time is a 1:11.7, and Justin in car number 11 there has done a 1:11.93. So he's got almost 2 tenths over Justin, which is a bit of a reversal from yesterday because Justin was pretty dominant.
So Matt's had a good experience in single-seater racing and now making that step up into the tin tops, into the big taxi.
And Justin, Justin's got a lot of experience in big four-door saloon type cars. He's raced in NZ6 a lot, out of the South Island, and I think he's always done pretty well there.
Good speed out in front. 18-year-old Matt Projeski, might be 19 by now, out of Inglewood.
Yep.
Driving that 5-litre V8, of course, different in horsepower ability compared to the Class 1 cars.
Yeah, recently went off and completed the Elite Motorsport Academy down in Dunedin with Motorsport New Zealand. So it's basically an intensive 1-week training camp where the young drivers get selected to go along and learn about all things to do with being a professional race car driver, from sponsorship presentation to fitness to health to diet to how you deal with media, how you speak on camera, and yeah, all the young drivers go through it and really learn a lot. So Chelsea's done it before, Brad's done it before. It's a great program from Motorsport New Zealand.
And very soon they're going to learn about having the fast dude in their rear view mirror and driving under pressure, because Jack Smith, he's doing a 1:05.8, Matt's doing a 1:11, Justin's doing a 1:11, Eric Hennehoff is doing a 1:11 as well, so he's 6 seconds quicker a lap, and he's catching them right here, right now, onto the back straight. He's on lap 11, they're still on lap 10, and the 16-lapper. Race 2, BNT V8s, blue flag showing for the faster car coming, so they'll move over and let Jack Smith make his move. He'll get slightly held up here, which may help Lance Hughes, but also Nick Ross, but he's got such a big lead of about 5.3 seconds over Hughes. He can afford to sort of carefully make sure he just gobbles these guys up. Now got Matt there, and he's got Jack in the rear view mirror.
Oh yeah, he thought about that and then backed out of it.
So you got Matt now.
Blue flags waving for those guys, just to let know that Jack's coming through.
So Matt will let him go through around that corner, and then, as you can see, get the inside line and up and over the hill. Meanwhile, battle for second and third, it's all on. Lance Hughes has been caught by the man further down the Southern Motorway, or the Great Northern Motorway, and that's Nick Ross, who's been gobbled up by Tony Anderson, because Lance Hughes from Hamilton Ashvelts, and you got Nick Ross from Cambridge Expressway, that's what it is. So, and Nick really hasn't quite got that same speed today.
Just hasn't quite got the speed. So I might have to go and have a chat with him after the race and see, where the car's struggling there. But he was clearly one of the quickest guys on track yesterday, and was leading the race there pretty comfortably for a bit. But today, just not quite got the speed in the car, it seems.
So now all the drivers are going through. Oh, Eric just holding up Nick Ross. Tony Anderson takes advantage of that. So now Nick gets down the inside. Eric gives him some racing room. Probably said, sorry mate, didn't mean to hold you up. Of course, Nick Ross started the weekend with the lead of 217 points. Right behind him, Jack Smith in second, 209. But after Jack Smith picked up yesterday's win and on target for back-to-back wins, it's going to be Jack Smith who will take over the lead in the BNT Championship.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, Nick only had a very slight 8-point lead coming into this weekend. So, and he said in the lead up, to this weekend, it's the first time he's actually started the championship where he's come out of the first round at top of the points. So, but look, still a long way to go, and maybe the weekend's not going quite as according to plan as him, but he's still, he's still finishing well and getting points, and that's, very important.
Tony Anderson, good speed in the AV8 car, number 3, Class 3. I think he's probably got enough speed in that X-Super Tourer to get up and take Lance Hughes. Lance Hughes, of course, on target for the Class 2nd at the moment in Class 1, and that's Brad Lathrope.
Is that Brad slowing there?
Looks like he's going to slow, and no, I thought he was going to go into the pits, but now he's going to limp his way over the top of the mountain, hopefully not get in anyone's way, as Lance Hughes holds off the fast charging Tony Anderson.
So two laps to go.
So they're 7 seconds behind the leader, Jack Smith. He's cleared off on target for win number 4 here at Pukekohe. I think he picked up a win here. No, was it number 3? I think it was Hampton Downs. He got a breakthrough win.
Yeah, you got his breakthrough win the end of last season or early this year.
Yeah, he picked up a win in the supercar meeting here. Picked up a win yesterday, so on target for another one here at Pukekohe. He's going to love this track.
Yeah, no, he's it's certainly the track here that in New Zealand that he's raced at the most, and I think where Jack will go really well this year is the fact that he's now been to all the circuits. So last year it was, he said to me once, he goes, I sort of spend the first half of the weekend learning the track, and then trying to learn the car as well. So now he's sort of got the track sorted, and the car's very fast. So he's certainly going to be a contender, all year for us.
Well, this is backed up, this battle between Hughes and Anderson. Great driving as the last lap board comes out now. No, it's going to be for the next lap, so we've got one more to go. No, it is out.
Yep, one to go, last lap.
Yep, no, just a bit slow. Jack Smith's out there, so he's got the lead, but it's Hughes and Anderson who are giving Nick Ross a slight chance to catch up. Brenton Grove back in the top 5, so he'll just want to have a nice clean run and get some speed back into that car and just get some consistent results and get some points on the board along with her teammates. So that's the Camry team of 10 and 62, Brenton Grove and Chelsea Herbert in 5 and 6. So they just don't want any trouble. They just want to get through the checkered flag and get some points and say, well, that's good, we've got a race under our belt. Lance Hughes doing a good job here, though.
Yeah, no, Lance, he loves his racing, and he was actually yesterday. He was telling me this morning on the radio yesterday. He was calling the team to get Jack to slow up a bit and do a bit of a photo finish across the finish line. So for the two Hamilton Motorsport cars. So
don't think it's going to happen here today. Brzezinski further down the field. Justin Ashwell, but it's going to be 2 from 2 for Jack Smith and another 1-2 for the Hamilton Asphalt team, with Lance Hughes coming down the track now, down the straight to take the checkered flag, and Nick Ross will come home in 3rd, and I think Tony Anderson may have just slowed up to let Nick Ross take that 3rd spot in the Class 1 battle. So the points battle continues. Ross will extend a slight lead in that championship now. Might be quite a handy lead, actually, over Nick Ross. That's Jack Smith.
Yeah. No, Jack, Jack's now, we'll have to go and maybe crunch the numbers at